Everybody, welcome back to Crypto Land. Here we are. We're going to be talking about crypto pumping. Of course, it's our favorite topic in crypto because that's at the end game, isn't it? We've got Bitcoin and Ethereum on the move. Finally, very, very excited about that. Stock market is moved higher as well. Hex is bounced. TitanX is looking good for hyperdeflation in the very few weeks ahead of us. It's going to be pretty epic. The 30th of October, of course, the 369 payout, massive. DragonX are looking hot right now. Excellent pickup. AWX just launched. First day of launch in progress. We're going to check out the results of that. Element280, which is the second big DeFi. So there's three big DeFis coming to TitanX, and it is the second big one there. A big giant buyer, basically a whale buyer, about to be hitting the ground running, and that's going to be super awesome. That launch is coming up today. Exciting stuff. Now, if you guys haven't joined our strategy club, the link is in the video description. Join up today. Only $35 a month. Great value. We are crushing it in there. We get great discussions going on. A lot of smart people, a lot of good people in there. So definitely join up. Multi-chain opportunities, the strategy club there. It is a private club inside our Pulsechain Hex Discord, but it is multi-chain. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see who's in the house. We got UFOologist in the house there. Title should be Crypto Pumps PDDC 1 year anniversary. Congratulations to those in the PDDC. Definitely one of the very best premium projects on Pulsechain. Has actually crushed it. So a big shout out to everyone in PDDC. Loving those bags. And of course, we know there's a lot of influencers out there that love that too. So kind of neat. All right. Don't forget to get in the chat there. Make it lively. We'd like to talk about that. We are streaming over 10,500 subscribers. So a big shout out to all the supporters. If you're loving this Pulsechain content, if you're loving crypto content, loving stock market content, if you're loving TitanX content, if you're loving Zen and X1 content, then that's what we are covering on this channel every single day, just about, except for maybe tomorrow when I take a day off. But that is pretty exciting. In fact, I might be streaming tomorrow as well because we're going to have Element280 live. So I don't know if I'm going to get a day off tomorrow. Let's see how we go. We got Hex Grader in the house. Hey, gang, good to see you, Hex Grader. I hope you're doing well out there, and a big shout out to you. One of our awesome members in our Discord. Big shout out. All right, get into chat there. Make it lively. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Let's get into it without further ado. Let's kick off the stock market. Everything is pumping. Everything is green. There is only good things to talk about. So let's get in there and start talking about it. Bam. Let's go. Woohoo. I've got some video going on here, so let's pause that. The S&P 500 closes above 5,800 for the first time ever as banks rally. So this is all good news, folks. All good news. Dow Jones is up 1%, 409 points, massive, to 42,863. The S&P 500 is up 0.6%, 35 points to 5,815. And as you can see, record close. Record close is what we love, folks. October, bring it on. And of course, NASDAQ up 30%, 59 points to 18,341. That is where we are on NASDAQ. Let's go look at the US dollar. It is down just very slightly at 102.72 on the index. That would influence commodities. Let's have a look at commodities. Commodities are down. Crude oil is down 0.5%. West Texas there at $75. And Brent oil is down 0.8%. That is down at $78.76. So a bit of cooling off with these geopolitical risks, right? Middle East and Ukraine, Russia, all that sort of stuff. Gold is up 1.3%, $35 to 2,674. Silver is up 1.6%, 50 cents to $31.73. We're expecting big things for those interest rate cuts. Devaluation US dollar, and of course commodity rally, silver particularly into 2025 along with crypto, right? Should enjoy a really good run along with crypto. Now the only news we had out, of course, we've got earnings season for Q3, so that's been coming out, and we see that the banks are rising. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, they're all rising on earnings. Tesla, however, it fell after the cybercab robo-tax unveiling fails to impress. I must admit, I think it was a very good practical thing. I just didn't like the design. At least not the internal design, but the external design was a bit weird. And of course, the robots, they were kind of a bit weird too. But they look cool, but a little bit thing. There's a little bit more work needs to be required, I think, for those humanoid robots. But anyway, we'll see how they go. I think they were saying $20,000, $30,000 on mass production. So I don't know if everybody's going to have one, but they're going to be running around the cities within the next 5 years, right? We're going to have these things running around. And of course, probably within 2 years, you'll start seeing them. Some of the rich guys will be buying these robots, and of course they'll be walking around. They're going to have AI chips, right? We know that the NVIDIA Blackwell chip, I think, is coming out in December. This thing's a game changer. What was it, $6 billion, $10 billion to make? I think the $10 billion to make. It's going to be about $30,000-$40,000 a chip or something. This thing is next level. This is AI chips. I mean, this is next level power. It is pretty crazy. I'm sure these chips makers that they're using must be at the quantum level now. I mean, it's got to be pretty easy, or sub-quantum. Let's go sub-quantum. Let's just do it. Technology is coming. I'm sure it's going to be crazy. I think they're down to what, maybe 5, 6, 7 nanometers. So just maybe 5-6 times bigger than an atom. But we're going to go quantum. We're going to go subatomic at some stage. And imagine the computer powering with that. Pretty awesome. And link it with a few Schrodinger cats, and I'm sure we're on to a winner. PPI data supports smaller rate cuts, so we did get backing on the CPI yesterday, which was kind of a bit of a mixed results. We have got producer price index that's kind of the wholesale level has actually impressed, so it supports a smaller rate cut. The producer price index for September was unchanged last month versus August, easing from a prior reading of 0.2% and below expectations for an uptick of 0.1%. Year on year, the index increased by 1.8%, slower than the upwardly revised mark of 1.9% in August, potentially pointing to a cooling inflation picture as lessening the impact of the consumer inflation data released early in the week, which read stronger than expected. It was very slight, but beats expectations. It's not so good. Traders are now pricing in a major chance for a 25 basis point cut in November. That's 2 days after the US election instead of a 50 basis points cut. So we've only had one 150 cut on September, so that's where we are. Comments from Fed officials added to this notion, with Atlanta Fed President Referral Bonus stating the possibility of a hold in November could also be considered. So we are really tapering off, cooling off that expectation. So let's see if we can get 25 basis points. A slower pace of interest rate cuts potentially presents pressure on Wall Street, given that US stock valuations scaled record highs on expectations of a sharp reduction in rates there, potentially up to 1.5 percentage points or 150 basis points. That is now chilling down maybe to 1 percentage point by the end of the year. We'll still see. So that's kind of where we are at the moment, but bullish on stock markets. And of course, that's led very well for the crypto market. We're going to look at that. Let's see where the Fed rate monitor is at the moment, what the market thinks interest rates are going to do leading into the year. Why is it so important? Well, cheaper money, right, means that there's more money to go out and buy stuff. You can go buy stuff. Also, the fact that if you've got fixed interest rates are low, and then people want to go take risk on, and that moves more into stock market, crypto, and commodities should do well too. So 3 weeks and 5 days and 18 hours to go, 7th of November, 2 days after the US election. We've got 86% of the market now expecting a 25 basis point cut. So we're still heading in the right direction with interest rates based on what the market is feeling about these inflation data we had up this week, the CPI and the PPI. Now that bullishness has led into crypto. Crypto is up bigly, 4% on Bitcoin, $62,564. A very good level here in October. We're only on the 12th of October. We've still got 18 days or so to go, 19 days. So we've got a lot of room to move for an upside. This level at 62,500 is a very good level for trying to target 90K, 100K by the end of the year for Bitcoin. That is when the bull rally's on, where we start heading towards that, right? That is the bull rally. 55% is the dominant, so still dominant is Bitcoin. Altcoin season not quite here yet, but it is getting closer. Ethereum at the moment is up today, 2.66%. This was fading yesterday. Remember, the prices were fading yesterday. It is up today, $2,442 for Ethereum, looking pretty good. Now, the standouts today, Solana up 5% at $145. Everything else that's in light green is up, a couple percentage points. XRP up 2% at 53 cents. BNB up 2% at $573. That's kind of where we are at the moment. And everything else is pretty much green, as you can see. It's also beneficial for meme coins. We're going to check that in a minute. Let's go to Bitcoin. Have a look at the daily chart. This is our daily chart. You can sort of zoom out here. See where we're zigzagging here, just leveling off a little bit. But we're in October now. We've managed to avoid a death cross. The yellow line, the 50-day, is above the 200-day. We avoided a death cross, and we're in October now. A nice big bounce here. We did actually breach down below 200 yesterday. We got all the way down to 58,863. So what a massive bounce today. And our PPI news, they're doing pretty well for us, as well as good banking news on the stock market. It's all tied in, up 7.8% today. And it's $4,600 move inside the last day. Isn't that crazy? $4,600. Welcome to crypto. And of course, things are looking pretty good. Now we're getting closer to the US election. Obviously, we want October to be a traditional October and nice gains. And of course, we are ticking away to US election only 25 days to go. That's pretty cool. And of course, we've got 19 days to go on October. We get Trump in. Trump's a victory for freedom, prosperity in the world, safety and security. Also a big deal for crypto. He's going to obviously get rid of Gary Gensler, change the guard on the SEC, drop potentially some frivolous cases like the one against Richard Hart and Pulsechain. That could be hyper bullish for Pulsechain, of course. We're looking forward to it. And of course, simplify the regulations and stop lawfare against crypto. This could be an absolute utter boom for innovation and crypto generally. Massive money will flood into the crypto economy, and that will amplify our crypto boom leading into the end of this year, maybe to 90 to 100K, and of course into the next year. Then we've got interest rate cuts, of course. That's going to make cheaper money and make fixed interest less desirable. And of course, bigger money comes into crypto as well. So many catalysts. October, the US election, Trump wins, and of course, the interest rate cuts. It is looking pretty awesome. The holy grail. And of course, we've got the Ethereum and Bitcoin ETFs ready to channel money into the system, as well as nation states and big corporates. It's looking very exciting. So let's have a look at our map here. This is based on traditional, bull market cycles. Maybe 820 to 870 days getting into the bull market cycle. So here by Christmas, we could get our Christmas rally, 90 to 100K, and we've got all the catalysts to do it. And then maybe into the new year, somewhere between February and April there, we could get that 150 to 180K, and maybe even 240K. And possibly, if it doesn't happen there, we could get a double top during 2025. Later in the year, like third quarter, we could have a potential double top if we don't top out already by April. So things could get really exciting. The hyper move, of course, altcoin season starts. It is game on. You're making more money than you can possibly think of. Getting your positions in right now. You really need to get them in now. This is the zone to do it. And October, very important, getting those positions set for this bull market. Awesome. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum looking pretty sad there at the moment still, but a nice update today. So let's have a look at that. It is in a death cross still. We got that death cross all the way back on the 12th of August. Unlike Bitcoin, has been struggling to move. It is a bit of a victim of its own success, with ProtoDank sharding. And of course, second layer protocols doing very well. Optimism, Arbitrum base, and things like that. So has had, it's a victim of its own success. Also, Vitalik selling, people like that selling, and this doesn't help. Up 6% today, and that's $140. So a nice little move off the bottom. A very good entry here into Ethereum, of course. And you will need Ethereum if you're going to go, buy Hex on Ethereum, or if you're going to go into hyper miners on TitanX, you need Ethereum. For that. And of course, the cheaper Ethereum is, the more of those you can get at the moment. As soon as Ethereum starts rallying, everything just gets way more expensive. Just remember that. So that is pretty cool. All right, so up 6% at the moment, and we'll see when we start to turn around. Really, Bitcoin's going to take the lead on this, I think, and that's where we are. That leads into meme coins, and of course, meme coins have actually started to rally on this good Ethereum and Bitcoin pickup. We see Dodge, though, hasn't moved majorly yet, but it's up 4.6% today, but only 1.5% for the week. So not really big move yet, but today is a very good start to that. 16.2 billion on Dogecoin. Let's go to some of the other big movers. Wrapped number 4 here, Dog with Hat, is up 20% for the week. 13% of that is today. 2.7 billion on that. Let's scroll down here. Some nice movers here with Popcat on Solana, 16% for the week. 5.8% at $1.3 billion on Popcat on Solana. Let's go to Nero. Nero's doing very well. 770 million market cap, up 75%, 10% today. Looking pretty good. SBX is up massively, 294% this week. 636 million, up 13.4% today. What else is looking there? Dog, of course, the one we're backing for the win, right? Dog. This is up 41% for the week. Really nice move, 9.3% today. And importantly, it's back over half a penny. So 5,200 for the penny there. Market cap also back over half a billion there, 520 million. The last time it did a rally, it got to 980 million, but we are expecting tier 1 exchanges anytime soon, particularly Kraken. That could be first, and could be God mode candles for the old dog on runes on Bitcoin, right? The first season for meme coins on Bitcoin for the first bull market. This is a big deal, and the runes protocol leading the way there, and dog is the number 1. So top meme coin in the world. Will it actually take out Dogecoin during the bull market? That's going to be interesting. 16.2. There's a lot of upside there, right? A lot of upside. We shall see. So that is the big movers there. Let's have a look at the total market cap at the moment. We've got market cap of 2.18 trillion, up 8% today. That's pretty good. 8.25%. Volume is down 0.5% there at 66 billion. But man, nice little gain there on the crypto market cap. That is pretty much it for crypto update in stock market and economic news, which is pretty good. What super duper coverage is that? MBS says, morning. Hey, MBS, hope you're doing well out there. Big shout out there. If you're not following MBS on X, he's going to be doing lots of crypto promotions soon. You watch out for MBS. He's going to, I think, make a storm there. We've got a big shout out to Property Review. Great coverage. Thanks for your valuable insights. Hey, you're welcome to Property Review. Big shout out there, and long-time supporter as well. Big shout out there for that. All right, let's go to Pulsechain. We're going to see what's hot in the markets. I know that ufologist here said crypto pumps PDC 1 year anniversary. We'll definitely check out PDC, one of the best projects on Pulsechain without a doubt. And of course, doing pretty well. Let's go. Of course, there's a DAO token, reflection token ecosystem, and of course, multiple token ecosystem as well, and arbitrage as well, right? So doing pretty well there. All right, so let's have a look at Pulsechain. Day 518. It's about to finish in about 45 minutes. So we've got to the end of the day results, really. Day 518. Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0537, up 8.8%. So Pulsechain back on the ascendancy. Still at 54% of the main sacrifice price. So still really good opportunity to get on Pulsechain. Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 03, up 10.7%. Big move there. And that is only 30% of the main sacrifice price. So massive upside to Pulsex. The buy and burn ticking away. 1,027 billion at the moment, 5.1%. So we rounded another digit there. 5.1% of the public supply has been bought up and burned, looking really good there. And Central Token up 9%, which is mostly due to the Pulsechain price. The ratio up very slightly there at 42,834. And what else there we got there? How many tokens? 44.5 million Central tokens from the Pulsex V1 farms are in existence. Now, Hex at the moment. 1.64 cents, a big move in Hex. Hex is going to lead the way. It's up 18.1%, 18.1%, huge day for Hex. And of course, we've got EHEX at 31/100th of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PX sitting at 1.94 cents, almost back at the 2 cents combined. Hex is looking hot there. So we're going to check that out in the charts. Let's do it. And of course, let's go have a quick look at Hex on Pulsechain. It is the big mover today. So let's have a look at that. That is the chart. So we're on the weekly. We haven't got a weekly bullish cross on this yet, but it's coming. You can see there we got the 200-day, 50-day EMA in yellow. In fact, I haven't even got the 200-day. We'll probably have to add that. So anyway, let's have a look at the daily though. We have got a bullish cross on the daily for the 50 and the 200 EMA moving average, not exponential moving average, just the moving average. So the exponential weights the more contemporary prices. So this is just a pure average, really. But we've got a bullish cross there on the 6. So this is a good signal for a hyper move on Hex. So we could see Hex go from 1.6 cents. We already had a big rally. We could see Hex go from 1.6 potentially up into the 6 to 7 cent range on the next move, right? RSI is kind of hot, but I think we could definitely do some hyper move. 423%, which is a 5.2x in 26 days. We've had some tapering back up here. We've got some big giant bull flag organized here. We had a little T-cross here as well, bullish T-cross, and that went all the way down to 1.17 cents. So you had a good chance to pull it up in there. It is back up at 1.6 cents here. It is on the ascendancy, and it's had a high today of 1.7 so far. This thing is looking hot. We've got a bullish cross on the daily with the long-term ranges. We've already had a bullish cross with the short-term ranges. The 13 and 34 X is looking hot. The RSI still got room to move 68 here, so for good times. And of course, we look at the weekly. We are hot on the weekly, but it could do some pretty spectacular things. Let's go to the monthly and see where that is. Yeah, all the way down to 54. And with some hyper capital, we could see some special things happening here. Now, that is the bullish scenario. Obviously, the RSI has typically got to be respected. So we may get back up to 1.9 cents, 2 cents, and then cool off for a while. That's definitely possible. Or we're just going to go bull flag up to the right, and it could take us to 6 or 7 cents there. And the RSI is just going to be hot, run hot for a while, and break the normal patterns. So that's kind of it on Hex there, looking pretty hot, as we say. Let's go to the Hex derivatives. We've got a lot of movement happening here. Hedron on Ethereum up 19% as well. Now, if you're on Hex on Ethereum, apparently you can buy and change now and things like that. So there are places to buy Hex on Ethereum if you want to pick up some Hex on Ethereum as well. Didn't talk about that, but you can. Base there is up 17%. A Trio, the 3-year one. So these are Base is the 1-year Hex mining pool. Trio is the 3-year Hex mining pool. Lucky is the 7-year Hex mining pool. They're all up pretty nicely, 17, 14% respectively. looking pretty good. But all over the place there, looks like these are up at the moment. And Acosa there on Pulsechain is also up at 10%. So everything looking pretty good in the old Hex land. Let's go to stablecoins. Have we got much movement? Not a lot of movement today. We've got definitely PDI there. The speculative one is speculative dollar one is at 3500th of a penny. So not really big movement there. Moving to influencer coins. The big move is Paul Pleb from Hexy Bastard up 19%. Scuba Steve still making some waves, up 11% there. Note token from Randy Harlaski finally moving up there 8% at 1300th of a penny. Looking pretty good in the leaders there. So that's kind of where we are on the influencers. Now we're going to go to overall Pulsechain and check that. We've got let's check that out. So 26.6 million in volume. Very cool. I'm happy with this. 25 to 45 million. Very happy with that range at the moment as we lead into the bull market. Looking pretty good. 345,000 transactions. That's up dramatically. Very excited to see that too. That's the end of the weekday leading into the weekend. Very, very exciting. Now let's have a look at the best performers. We've got this Gengar one here. Up 831%, not really sure what that is, but that is up there. It's got even some support here with a 10 power play. Someone's paid a little bit of money for that to get some attention. We've got the 9mm, the number 2 DEX for Pulsechain is up at 24%, so a nice little move there. Let's have a quick look at that. Obviously, DEXs are some of the most valuable generally in crypto, and that is the daily. So nice little bounce off here. We're all the way down at half a penny, and we're back up here at 1.6 cents. So a nice little move here happening with 9mm, and of course Paul Pleb benefiting as well from the same, doing pretty well there too. Not from the same founder, that's from 900, but doing pretty well at 9mm. Hex, of course, number 3, and we talked about that, is up about 18%. Halgo, of course, benefits from Hex being up. That is up 17% as well. Pico there, I think the meme coin up 15%. UFO related to PGC is up 15%. X there as well. I'm not sure who launched the X, but it's up 14%. UFO, of course, doing well. What else are we going to say about this? HOH, the Tangang still out there with the Hex orange address. That's up 13%. Cookies up 12% as well. So those are kind of our leaders over 10%. And I guess we have to include PulseX in that. Charm as well. And Nope Token, they're managing to make 10%. Those are all our 10% plus gainers today. A nice little array of mixtures there of DeFi and meme coins and DAO tokens. There's sort of a mix there, isn't there? Kind of cool. So PulseX yield farms at the moment. So quick look at that. 24 million in volume for PulseX. 9mm, how's it doing? 1.6 million. That's not too bad. And 9-inch there is doing 796k. Looking at Spark Swap, 134k. So Spark Swap still ticking away there. It looks like the Spark token at the moment is up 5.4% there. How far down is that actually? Let's have a quick look at that on the old Spark. We haven't looked at this for a while, have we? But that is it at the moment. Wow. Okay. That's it on the daily there. Look at that. Let's have a look at it on the weekly for Spark Swap there. I know some people were playing in Spark Swap farms, and there we are. That's kind of really, is this the bottom for it? Interesting. Will it be? Let's see. Only 310k. What's that? The volume there? Can't even remember. But Spark Swap tipping away there. Yeah. Under 34k in volume. Still moving along, but it's you wouldn't want to get much lower than 50k, would you, on a DEX at all? It's virtually dead by then. We saw that with ETH Power, and ETH Fear, or ETH Fear particularly, that died, didn't it? And ETH Power is pretty small as well. We know that Hex got copied to both ETH Power and ETH Fear, but they're pretty much dead, aren't they? For the most part. So that's pretty much it. Let's go away and have a look at the rest of Hex. Rest of Pulsechain. We've got the gas prices at 168,000 beats. Super cheap on Pulsechain, man. 0.3 of a penny for a PulseX swap. Obviously, Pulse is going up in price, so it's going to make it more expensive in US dollars. 8 on Ethereum at the moment, so actually pretty low for Ethereum. 2,164 times cheaper than Ethereum, even with Gwei at 8. Looking pretty good. You're winning on Pulsechain, as we say. 48,675 active validators. Looking good there too. And the bridge is the heartbeat. 114.7 million. I think we're up about 2.5 million from yesterday. I think we're sitting about 112.4 or something. So we're about 2.5 million approximately up today. Not too bad. 33 million in DAI. ETH obviously rebounding there at 22 million. Wrapped it. Bitcoin also at 1.9 million. Coaster's slightly higher, isn't it? Used to be about 5 million, so at 5.6 million. So that's pretty good. And EHEX, of course, going up as well. So real beneficiaries there. And I think USDC has gone up slightly too. So not bad happening there on Pulsechain. That was day 518. Of course, we're going to have day 519 start. Everything is green on Pulsechain. Richard Hart is excited as well. Let's have a quick look at Richard Hart about that. he has posted about this. So let's have a little look at him. And he posted yesterday. Yeah, this is 7 hours ago. Price up 25% in a day. Looks cool. Hex.com. Nice and simple from Richard. I like that. And of course, yes, 18 hours ago. Cool. Hex.com. Looking pretty good too at Hex. So Hex was 1.5 cents and then 1.64. So Richard out there posting out there. Not bad. Not bad. And I got to do a big shout out here. Of course, the Hex Lambos are champions. They won there. Look at that. There's a Hex Lambo there. Making some mad games. Let's actually pull that back in again. That's the Hex there. Good old Hex Lambo. That's pretty cool, isn't it? The Hex Lambo. GTK Cup overall champions, GDC class champions, team overall champions, first female champion of the GT Cup, and Sprint Challenge champions. Congrats to Top Cats Racing. Pretty cool. And I've got a little video there on that with some Hex driving. Isn't that cool? So watch a little bit of that, actually. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. A little bit of fun there. All right, so that's our Pulsechain update. Everything looking pretty hot there. Hex leading the way. Big shout out there. And yeah, having fun. What else we got? Andrew says a Ginga there. I haven't really looked into those ones. So I got a bit careful when I see those new ones up or ones that I'm not familiar with. But going in house there, Mafia for the win. Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more coverage of Mafia coming up. As you guys know, I'm the consigliere for the directorate, the most powerful family on BNB and Pulsechain overall. And we're looking to do some pretty cool stuff there. So Mafia is going to be the #1 GameFi. Also going to be launching, was it Solana and BaseChain? Man, Mafia is going to be a massive GameFi. And don't miss it out. Of course, you can, get part of it. Tin Top announced there. What's up, Hexkins? Hey, Tin Top. Hope you're doing well. I hope life is treating you well there. Kind of cool. What else there? We got Charity in the house there, stopping by to say hi. Hey, it's always good to see you, Charity, whenever you can make it. I really do enjoy you coming in. Hope you're doing well, you and your family. Eddie in the house there says it is feeling mighty bullish. It is October. So much stuff leading the way there. I hope you love that roadmap of the bullish bull cycle there. Pretty cool. Let's get into it without further ado. Let us get into our next topic, which is TitanX. TitanX. Anybody can and TitanX can. I just made that song up, but I actually made it. It was all right. It was all right. All right, so let's get into the big moves. Obviously, we had Awesome X launch earlier today. So we're going to talk about that. And, of course, we've got Element280, the second of the big 3 DeFis launching on the TitanX ecosystem as TitanX looks to take over Ethereum. And I kid you not, that is the destiny. It is happening in this bull market. In fact, within weeks, it's going to be really dominating a lot. So it is fun times. So best performer at the moment is Janus on Pulsechain. Funnily enough, there is quite a bit of crossover between TitanX and Pulsechain. It's going to continue to grow. So it's pretty awesome there. Janus there doing pretty well from the founder of Helios, led by the dude, which is also obviously going to be launching Element280. So that's his next big project, the second of the 3 big DeFis. Obviously, Titan Farms has been crushing it, doing very, very well there. DragonX is up next. It's up 5.2%. Baby DragonX on the back of DragonX is up 5%. So they're the big movers so far in the 24 hours. Hyper is up next, up 4.7%. TitanX itself. So TitanX is the medium of exchange. It is up 3.5% there. It has also lost a 0 and holding that 0. So this TitanX is about to go moon big time. Inferno is up 3.4%. JKX, the meme coin, up 0.7%. So those are all the ones that are green on the 24-hour basis. The ones that are just around break even, Blaze sitting pretty much even. Volt is down 2.26%. Helios is down 3%. LegionX is down 5.7%. Pulsar, which is the other project where Crypto Kool-Aid and Gearheads, that's going to be on Pulsechain too with TitanX, and that is down 6.3%. We're still waiting for more news around that. Hydra there is down 17%. Tink is the new farm token incentive for Titan Farms. This is down 48.5% at $5.30. I'm not surprised here at the moment. We knew the first 10 to 14 days was going to be a bit like a hockey stick probably before it starts to sort of recover. We were going to see how that impacts the ROIs and, of course, as the farm pools grow. AWX, of course, is the latest project to launch. It is down 80% at the moment, but it has just launched and it's the first day, first couple of hours. It's going to have to find price discovery as the people are going into the AwesomeX. So we're going to talk about that. Those are the leaders there at the moment. Let's go have a look at the Titan Hub. Obviously, this is the leaderboard here by Mike Dean. Big shout out to him. He does have a premium service too. If you want to pay for that, you can do that. There's a few discount codes sitting out there as well. I think Mo's got one, Cryptographics, a few others got that, so you can use those. But you get to lots of key data for the TitanX ecosystem. We can see the total ecosystem market cap at the moment is 119 million. Now, mark this, take a snapshot because this thing could really be going through the roof in the next couple of weeks as TitanX goes through hyper-deflationary. It is going to be mega, mega, mega awesome. 94.6 trillion of TitanX has been burned. The ecosystem volume is at 8.5 million at the moment. Keep a track on that over the next couple of weeks and months. TitanX users has just gone over 17,000. That's just for TitanX itself. And of course, I think it's over 3,000 for DragonX. It really is starting to grow pretty nicely up and nice growth numbers. Now, the next project course is coming up, Element280 in 13 hours and 29 minutes. That is happening today. That is the second of the big three DeFi coming into the TitanX ecosystem. Obviously, TitanX is largely a very advanced DeFi 3.0 ROI protocol ecosystem, but they've now got DeFi coming into it as well. This is massive, massive scaling of TitanX as TitanX goes through hyperdeflationary. It is a big deal. Leading up in 18 days and 7 hours is the big 369 payout for TitanX. It is going to be 6.7 million at the current price of Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum continues to rally for the next 18 days. It's going to end up being way higher than that, 10 million plus, if we get a big move on Ethereum this month. So excited about where that will head. That's all going to go back into, I would say, at least 41% is guaranteed to go back into DragonX, burning DragonX, and of course buying TitanX. And that's a big amount of money to come in as a buyer. But I suspect that we'll get a lot of that money will come back into the system from retail book as well. They are long invested users there. So that is going to play there. I love this website. Great website. It's kind of TitanX got its own coin market cap or a crypto coin get-go. So they really like that. Looks like this system is exploding onto the market. Upcoming projects, of course, is Element280. It is at 13 hours. I'm very bullish about Element280. It's from the dude, the creator of Helios and Janice. I'm very excited about this. A big super buyer, big whale is going to come in and buy all these things. Look at this. Going to come buy all these. I suspect it's going to be a very big weighted to DragonX. We don't know what those weightings are, but I suspect it could be up to 30%. It's kind of my guess on DragonX. We shall see. And of course, the cores will probably have a big holdings there. I suspect that Helios and Vault will also benefit. Maybe even Inferno will have good weightings in addition to the core four. Core four being TitanX, DragonX, Hyper, and Hydra. But I suspect that these are the ones with big volumes will also be winners there, including Vault and Inferno, which have fixed supplies, and they're going through deflation, hyperdeflation as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see all that play out. And AwesomeX launched today, which is pretty interesting on that too. So we're going to talk about that. Those are the projects. Let's have a look at AwesomeX and see where that's heading at the moment. Let's go to the website. AwesomeX there, another one looking pretty awesome. Great website, of course, from the Blaze team. Looking pretty cool. Big shout out to Ali and that team. Doing a great job. David as well. So first day one, cycle one. 14 hours and 26 minutes so far left. So this has been running for 9.5 hours since it launched. And of course, you just connect your wallet up there. It's got the mint. So TitanX amount. If you did, let's do 100 million tokens. That's $100 at the moment. That will get you a pretty good return. ROI 245% at the moment. Obviously, this gets filled up as we move through the end of the day. You'll get 280 million AwesomeX tokens at the moment. Let's see, cycle one, of course. Claimable after 14 hours, so you can claim it at the end of the day. And here are the multiples. So one TitanX at the moment will get you 2.8 AwesomeX. And of course, we saw the chart for AwesomeX. Let's have a quick look at AwesomeX chart over here. It's down the bottom here. And we can see that it's just launched, so it's finding price discovery. No surprises with this chart, the way it looks. 5 zeros, 12.90 is where the price is. 114K liquidity, $64,000 market cap. It is just setting up, so it's still on the launch day. It's got to have everything play out first. But I'm very impressed with the amount of TitanX that's gone in here so far. 362 billion. That's a very good result so far, only after 9.5 hours. It's going to be pretty cool. I think that any project that does $500 billion in volume on the first day, I think that's a pretty good result. Obviously, if it gets to 700 to 800, I think that's a very strong result. And of course, over 1 trillion would be pretty spectacular. And that's kind of the way I would generally see that. Yeah, so let's see how high it can go. Good start so far. I had good coverage earlier this morning. Had Jake Sharp covering it. Ellie was covering it. David was covering it on YouTube. You can check that out. So there was a big cool coverage of that. Now the burn, let's have a look at the burn. Now burn here sitting at 242,000 US dollars, 227.9 billion TitanX in there. Awesome, right? That's going to operate every 8 minutes once it starts as well. Very excited to see that. It's got a cool stats page. You can see at the moment 100% is liquid. And of course, I think it needed 50 billion, was it, to set up the LP? And it's, don't forget, AwesomeX is matched with DragonX. So it's not matched with TitanX, it's matched with DragonX. Pretty awesome there. The awesome price there is, as we say, looking pretty good. The awesome minted, the total AwesomeX minted so far is a 1 billion AwesomeX. Remember, it's a 1.1 TitanX to 2.8 AWX or AwesomeX tokens, $1.3 million at the moment. No burn started yet, of course. AwesomeX Treasury balance is now 12,000. There's just over 9 billion TitanX in the AwesomeX Treasury. The AwesomeX Launchpad, this is going to be this innovative people where people can apply to launch papers, launch projects using the Launchpad and, of course, get funded for that. That is currently 10 billion in there, $14,000. As TitanX sent to DragonX, obviously there's a big supporter of DragonX. And, of course, remember, if it's paired with DragonX. So if DragonX goes up, it goes up too. It's got that leverage play there, all things equal with the ratio. And TitanX sent to DragonX there, almost $40,000, 37 billion there. So looking really hot there for DragonX. And that is sent to DragonX. So pretty cool. Now, total DragonX burned, nothing at this stage. But that is the play. And, of course, you can check out the docs if you want to find out all the details. And there are a couple of YouTube videos explaining it as well. It is a 125-week minting cycle. The best rate is today's rate, right, the first day. That makes a lot of sense. And it will go down by 2.8% in the mining reduction each week. It's got some cool charts showing that reduction in mining. So earlier pays better from that point of view. Deflationary over time, of course. Liquidity pool setup, that is done. So that is done, isn't it? First 50 billion, yeah, is done there. So looking pretty cool. The pool is the V3 pool. And the LP is locked forever and looking pretty cool. All fees are sent each week to the AwesomeX Treasury to keep the flywheel winning. Spinning, I should say. So that's pretty cool. You can read all the details there. The TitanX allocation, of course, we've gone through that on the stats page and excited about that. So special feature, of course, is the AwesomeX Launchpad. First, I was a bit critical of that, but I think if they operate that really well, it could be very beneficial, particularly building on top of AwesomeX itself. We also know that the team has a lot of new projects that they've announced earlier today. So that's going to benefit the whole ecosystem, Hydra, Hyper, and projects like that. So we're very excited where that's all heading. And of course, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this whole place play out. That is the summary of where all the allocations going there as well. The buy and burn details, pretty awesome. So they're burning on different days, just like Inferno. They burn on different days, 3% on Sunday to Wednesday, 7% on Thursday, 12% on Friday and Saturday. So very similar to Inferno there. In the first week, the buy and burn process starts on Sunday at noon. The launch is Friday at noon, and the mint ends on Saturday at noon. So the buy and burn starts 24 hours after the first mint. So if you're looking for that, that's what happens there. The mint's going to be every 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes, it says here. Kind of cool. And the 3% is it's going to be 3% split into 192 parts per day. So there's a lot of little mini buy burns going in every day once it starts. So that's kind of the play there. All right. So it's got audits and contracts as well. You can check that out down here. So it's all its audits there and the team links down the bottom there. That is AwesomeX. And you can obviously get to it through the TitanX hub. So I'm going to post that in the chat and looking pretty good. So that's AwesomeX. I think it's had a very good start. And of course, like I say, if it gets over $500 billion, I'll be pretty happy with that. But if it gets to 700-800, that's a very good, strong opening day. Anything over $1 trillion has got to be fantastic for a project, particularly at the moment while we've still got plenty of TitanX around. Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. So that is, if you want to access any of these charts, that's the place to do it. We got Utah Crypto in the house there. Let's go E280. Yeah, we're going to talk about Element280 now. This is the second of the big DeFi. So we've got two decent projects, in fact, launching back-to-back. AwesomeX, which is now live. We're going to see that play out. And, of course, we've also got Element280 launching in 13 hours and 20 minutes. I'm very, very supportive of this. This is one I really particularly like here. Upcoming projects, you can see that. Let's go have a look at the project list for this. This is not yet launched, but I love it. I love the idea of a periodic table too, because basically it's going to allow you, if you don't know much if you don't know how to get into TitanX, it's like you've got two options really. If you don't really understand a lot of the projects building, you got two options. You could just buy TitanX and wait for its hyperdeflationary move, which is imminent, and of course is happening in many ways right now. But definitely after the 30th of this month with the 369 payout. But you can do that. Alternatively, you can go into Element280. It's going to be a big super buy. It's going to own pretty much everything that's out there at the moment that's existing. And of course, going to be weighted towards some of the stronger projects like DragonX. And of course, it's an easy way. You just buy an NFT and you can earn mad fees and mad gains and benefit from the whole protocol. So it's a pretty good way of going in simply and getting access. And I know many people are going to do it. Even Jake Sharp himself talked about getting NFT for this. I think it's a pretty popular project and it could do pretty well. Now, will we see multiple trillions go into this project? I think we can be optimistic about that. I think it could attract that much capital into it. So I'm very excited. It is the second of the big three DeFis. Titan Farm's out first, which has been spectacular. Over $26 million of value gone into there is under management. And now we've got Element280. This could take in a ton of TitanX. So look excited about where this will go to. Let's have a quick look at the tokenomics. There's going to be a token, all right, Element280. And of course, there's an ERC20 token bonded with all of the TitanX systems. This is going to be fascinating to see this set up. You know, it could be up to 14 different pairs, liquidity pairs, and it's going to be fun. So Element DragonX, Element Helios, the Element Hyper. It's going to be fun to see all these play out, and it's all going to benefit itself, right? So more buying and burning. It's going to be on a large scale across the whole of the TitanX system. This is just another part of the flywheel, if you want to say it, in the part of the whole ecosystem, just elevating the value in prices. It's going to be incredible. So buying power, burning power across all these different pairs, just added addition there. Going to be amazing. So that's exciting. Obviously, the NFTs are pretty innovative. We've seen NFTs from Legend X. We've seen NFTs from DragonX. And now we've got NFTs here from Element280 as well. The NFT collection is backed by Element tokens. So if you burn your NFT, you will get your Element tokens, but there is a tax for that. And that tax will go back to existing holders of NFTs. But if you hold the NFTs, simply by holding in your wallet, you're eligible to claim Element from the reward pools. And I think a lot of people are going to do that, folks. I really do think people are going to like this setup. And of course, there's more projects coming from the dude in terms of Helios, in terms of Janus, in terms of Element280, which is about to launch. And of course, he has already indicated he's got other projects on the pipeline, including launching on X28, which is going to be omni-chain / multi-chain. It is a big deal. So I think this is going to really start to gain momentum and really take off there. So let's have a look at the tokenomics quickly. There's going to be a 28-day mint phase, right? That's coming up. And of course, that's going to be launching, like I say, very soon. We've got the launch in 13 hours and 70 minutes. This is really a big project, I think, for the whole of TitanX ecosystem's growth. Mint cost will be 1 TitanX. And of course, that will get you 1 Element token. So it's 1-to-1. We saw with Awesome X that it was 1 to 2.8 to start off with. Well, this is going to just be 1 TitanX to 1 Element token in this case for 28 days. Now, the 28 days is also going to cover into November. So there could be a lot of ETH coming from that 369 payout that comes into Element280 to really boost it over this 28-day period, lifting up that big buyer mentality that is going to come from the super buyer, super whale buyer like Element280. So if DragonX is a big whale staker and gets payments that way, Element280 could be a big whale buyer, right? That's the kind of the idea. It's going to own a bit of everything. So if you want to do that, but it will be weighted towards the stronger protocols. Over time, of course, as the liquidity goes through those different protocols, the performance is reflected in that. It will be reflected in this protocol as well. So it's a kind of natural market adjustment to the best performance. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. The supply will be capped after the 28 days. So that's will be it. And it will be deflationary supply from tokens burned forever after that. So beautiful stuff happening there. Now, there will be supply and sell taxes. So this is not going to be on V3 like we normally see for TitanX. This is an exception. It will be on V2. And so that's going to mean that it can have taxes, right? Because V2 doesn't count for those taxes, but you can have reflection tokens in a V2. So that's what's going to be a bit different there. It's going to be pretty fun to see. 16% buy, sell, transfer tax during the mint phase. 12.8% on NFT rewards, 1.6% on Element burn. So this is during that 28 days. And then after that, of course, 1.2% Genesis, 0.4% to Helios Treasury on the play there. Then after the mint phase, after 28 days, it's just going to go 4%, 2.4% to NFT rewards, 0.8% Element burn, 0.6% Genesis, and 0.2 Helios there. So Helios is a big winner out of this. And of course, Helios has already benefited from Flux, right? Flux launch, so that's going to do well there too. Why would someone want to mint tokens over an NFT? Everybody will have their own strategies. Well, some may decide the NFT is a store of value for long-term holdings as a good play. Others may not. In short, by minting tokens and not an NFT, or users avoid a 3% burn fee attached to crushing an NFT on the back. So obviously, I suspect that NFTs will accumulate a lot of value. The 3% probably won't matter too much after a while. But once again, people have to decide for that. So the NFT specs there. Let's have a look at that. We've got the different tiers, and I really love these names: legendary, rare, and common. So legendary is 10 billion mint cost there for TitanX. So that's definitely for some bigger players. But 1 billion TitanX is the rare one, and 100 million for common. So that's really accessible. It's about $100 at the moment. But it could be, TitanX goes 10x. That's going to be $1,000 in the future. So pretty cool. Now you do get a reward multiplier based on how big your NFT is that you mint. And if you do mint an AMP version of the legendary or rare, you will have to, it will burn a billion TitanX. So we're going to see this accelerate. If we get trillions through here, we're going to get a massive burn on the TitanX supply. Could be really, really awesome. I'm very excited to see that. So that's going to play there. If TitanX obviously goes up in a lot of value, this is going to be probably leveraged up as well, pretty dramatically with the whole ecosystem. So remember, the value in those NFTs could really skyrocket to the moon, and within a very short space of time, right? So NFT will also get rewards. Holders will be able to claim element tokens at any time. So you don't have to burn your NFT to cash in value. You will be earning rewards holding the NFT. So it's a store of value and an income. Pretty awesome, right? It's kind of holy grail. Reward pool fills up. Your portion of the rewards is equal to the total reward multiplier of your NFTs combined. So that reward multiplier will be very key. Now, I suspect that some people may not do 10 billion. Some people will do 10 billion, but some people may do a whole ton of 1 billion so that they can burn an NFT at any time. So I think 1 billion offers a lot of flexibility there to people, including the 100 million one there. So we will see a bit of a mixture there as people have different strategies. So if you have a ladder, if you want to do a ladder, you could do 1 billion TitanX ladders, all over the place. Now, there's obviously fees associated to it, but I think that's a pretty good play on there as well. Kind of cool. NFT backing burn to claim. You can do that, of course. Got all the taxes there on the breakdown. Obviously, we talked about that. That's going to feed the rewards. Rewards get fed by all these different things. NFT gets fed by NFTs, gets fed by buys, sells, and transfers. So there's a lot of rewards that could go into these NFTs accrued. Pretty exciting. Why would someone want to mint an NFT over tokens? By minting NFT, a user will earn rewards for element token sales transactions. This means a user not only uses the NFT as a store value in the element tokens and that back NFT, but also has the ability to increase their holdings of element tokens as well. Remember, element's going to be slowly destroyed, and so that means that the backing of the store value is going to go up as well. So you're going to get rewards, and the token is going to get value, get the deflationary. It's a pretty bullish scenario there. And of course, you get to own a bit of everything in the ecosystem, as well as helping buying and pumping up everything in the system too. So you're playing a role of lifting the value of the whole system and getting rid of tokens too. So pretty exciting. There's the reward pool there. Of course, benefits from these two different things, as I said. And nice. And TitanX distribution. So obviously, the first 200 million. So we saw with AwesomeX, it was 50 billion to set up the LP. Well, here it's going to be the first 200 billion TitanX used to create initial LPs. And of course, it's going to have to create a lot of them, right? So up to 14. And so it's going to really need to be a pretty big project with a lot of TitanX going into it. But that will be a super burner, super buy there. I don't think anyone's too worried about that. So yeah, got TitanX, Hyper, Helios, DragonX, Baby DragonX, Hydra, Blaze, Inferno. There's going to be a lot of that. They will have different weightings as well. And they're going to have a percentage as to be, we don't know what that is, but we do know that DragonX is going to get a heavier weighting. I think it could be quite heavy as well. So it could be up to 30%. We'll see. And of course, the cores, they're likely to be favored. Hydra, Hyper, TitanX itself. Yeah, we're going to see how everything else goes. Vault obviously looks good. Inferno looks good, I think, and maybe some of the others as well, up to about 14. LP creation, of course, is going to be set up there. There's a bit of details there. And of course, the buy and burn also going to be very important. Each ecosystem pool has TitanX waiting to be used to buy and burn. When a burn is triggered by a user, the following happens: buys ecosystem token with TitanX, 90% burn, ecosystem token 10%, and of course buy and burn element 80% there. Distribute ecosystem tokens to Genesis 6% and Helios 4% there. Pretty cool. Contracts, of course, will be here on launch, and of course, as we said, the launch is only 13 hours away, so that's ticking away. They should all be there, and the audits should probably get posted as well so you can always read the orders before you go in. But very excited where this is going, and the dude is super smart guy, and one of my 3 top people in the TitanX ecosystem with his knowledge and abilities. Pretty exciting there. So yeah, looking pretty good. Pretty good. And of course, there's lots of big protocols coming in afterwards. These are all coming up soon. Yeah, Ouroboros is number 3, right? The big DeFi. That is the lending and borrowing and stablecoin. That's going to be pretty interesting to see that come up. And of course, USDX, the stablecoin there too. But there are many other projects coming up here. XWars, WarpX, AlienX, Lotus. Now, AlienX looks like it's going to be launching next week. Can you believe it? That's going to benefit Inferno, I believe. So that's pretty cool. Let's go out of here and let's have a quick look at the TitanX. Have a look at the roadmap here. This is pretty neat. So let's do full screen here and let's summarize this roadmap. I've got some changes on here, so you guys might like this one. So let's get into a few comments though. What else we got there? Any more comments? No, we've got Utah in there, E280. Let's go. Absolutely bullish about that. So let's have a look here. So we've got AwesomeX launched only 10 hours ago, doing very well so far, heading towards 400 billion in that so far for day 1. We've got Element280 is about to launch in 13 hours, the second of the big 3 DeFis, the super whale buyer. If DragonX is the big super whale staker in TitanX, then Element280 is the super buyer of the TitanX ecosystem projects. It is a big deal there, and we look forward to it taking in a lot of TitanX and helping the whole system as well as people that participate with that innovative NFT setup. No doubt it will get on, be placed on the Titan Legends NFT tradable there as well. That should benefit Titan Legends also. We've got Ouroboros may launch by the 15th. We'll keep an eye on that one. So that's the 3rd big DeFi question mark there. And then of course AlienX has popped up here. Ellie was saying that AlienX could be up next week, and that's going to benefit Inferno, TitanX, and that is really huge. So if you're in Inferno, Inferno's got a fixed and decreasing supply, then obviously Flux and Inferno, Flux and AlienX will be benefiting Inferno. That could be really bullish. We'll look forward to more there. Got a question mark on that one, but that is indicated for next week on the 18th. So nothing slowing down here in October. And then, of course, we've got Lotus, which is going to build on Vault. So Vault is the other one other than Inferno. It has very big volume, of course, biggest volume actually at the moment, Vault there. And, of course, that's going into hyperinflationary. Lotus is going to accelerate that. But we're expecting a lot more stuff happening on Vault with other stuff as well, including the Vault wheel, right? And that is going to be kicking in too. And, of course, maybe we'll have scale out there, question mark, on Baby DragonX. So even Baby DragonX, the meme coin, getting a bit of love there on top of DragonX. So pretty awesome. So AwesomeX there is going to be bullish for DragonX. Element280 is going to be bullish for DragonX, especially with the heavy weighting there. DragonX is getting a lot of love. Vault's getting a lot of love there, and Inferno's getting a lot of love. All the fixed coins, the store values are getting lots of love from these projects, as well as ultimately TitanX. Then we get into Viper potentially launching at the 30th of October. We'll see how that goes. That should benefit DragonX there, as far as I understand. And of course, the TitanX there, 369 payout on the 30th. That is the big day where $7 million or maybe even higher, could be $10 million by then, is going to be going in back into TitanX. It's going to be pretty amazing. Now, do you guys see something that's on the list here? Do you guys see something? Obviously, Titan game potentially in November. But what do you see? What have we got here? I got. Remember, I used to have a big range for X28 in November. Well, I've got a very small range here now. What do you guys think of that? I've got it on the 8th of November, looking pretty good, right? So that's me. That's my speculation. I got a question mark there. So obviously, we're about to go to hyperinflation for TitanX. We've got all these projects accelerating that. And of course, then we're going omni-chain, right? So once the TitanX starts dominating Ethereum, we're also going to omni-chain. I think the earliest date for me now is the 8th of November. It's got the number 8 there. Of course, Jake Sharp there said he's going to be streaming for the next, 38 days or what it was, and that ends on the 8th of November. So that's pretty telling. Does that mean that X28 launches on the 8th there? That would be only just after the 369 payout. That would be pretty hyper bullish, right? So he is calling. So this is the phases he's calling. Phase 3, hyperdeflation. He's really been penciling that down for the 30th. Obviously, we've been going down trillions a day in the liquid supply for TitanX. And, of course, hyperdeflation from the 30th, pretty much locked in, loaded for that. we're obviously going pretty dramatic deflation already. And of course, 9 days later, it does TitanX with all that buying going on with the 369 payout of TitanX. And does that go and then launch the X28 and eat up the remaining TitanX that's left? It will go through X28, and then TitanX not only does it dominate Ethereum, but it starts dominating other chains, EVM chains. This is huge. And of course, the bull market could be fully ramped up by the time we get to there. The 8th is also the 3 days after the election, US election, of Trump wins, and also 1 day after the interest rate cut that we're expecting of 25 basis points on the 7th. So it's 1 day there. This could be the zone here. It's question mark though. It's my estimation based on that information. It could be huge. Now let's have a quick look at the other reason why that could be the case as well. Well, because on that day, let's go down and see the future inflation. As you guys know, we are getting down to around about 10 trillion left in the system. But let's go to the future roadmap, and let's full screen this and get the whole diagram here. This is what we're going. This is future inflation left. It is pretty insane. But before we do that, let's have a quick look at how much actual TitanX is left at the moment. It is going down every single day. Let's go have a look. It is sitting at 49 trillion at the moment. This has been going down. It was below 49 earlier today. Obviously, inflation comes out at different times and gets taken in different times. Obviously, AwesomeX is eating up some of this today. We're going to have Element280 eat up probably a ton of this when it launches in 13 hours. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Today, of course, we've only got how much? 527 coming out. Actually, let's use this chart here. 527 billion coming out today. And that is almost finished, right? So we're only 5 minutes to go until this blue candle's finished. Then we're dropping down to 476 billion. We really are starting to move through the remaining candles here. Every time we look at it, it goes down and down and down. There's probably about 10 trillion or something like that in the candles that are remaining. But the key dates in here, of course, are the 30th. That is right here. You can see it's very low. Look at how much inflation is coming out before the 369 payout. It is extremely low. Once we get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles, which are still relatively low. Once we get through those, we are into really baby candles, 110, 126. These things are super small leading into the 369. So we've got about a whole 10 days leading into 369 or something. That's going to be super, super low on the 30th there. And then we're going to have massive buyer. So very little inflation, massive buyer. It's going to be crazy. And of course, all these protocols eating up TitanX. It is insane. Now, leading into the 8th, of course, the 8th happens to also be the last, not only is the end day that he's streaming, but also after the 369 payout by 9 days, it is also the last day we have any sort of significant inflation at all. 411 billion TitanX coming out on the 8th. What a perfect day to launch X28. And we're essentially the future inflation is essentially over. We only have a couple of days of 200 there, a day 230. Everything else is really tiny, 100 billion or lower. Some of them are so small. I mean, by the time you get out to the end of November, you're talking about 14 billion a day. Here on the 13th of November, 50 billion. That is nothing burger. So this really is this the mark here, the 8th there for X28 coming out. There we are. I've laid the cards out there, laid the evidence out there. Let us see what happens there. Omni-chain, that is massive. Everything that goes into X28 will be burned. And then, of course, TitanX expands to other chains and it starts to build on other chains. It takes over crypto. It is going to be absolutely mega. You guys are here at the right time, at the right place. You got to get excited about this. If you are excited, get into the strategy club. The link's in the video description. Join up today. It is our private club, and we talk about all this sort of stuff in depth and the strategies included. So very, very excited where this is about to hit. So this is the roadmap at the moment. There is more to come. Of course, as we move forward, this map will be filled in with the roadmap. Shadow Protocol still sitting out there as well. That's a big, big deal. But you can see the expansion of projects coming. GoDex, Inferno, Matrix. Matrix is going to be on top of Hyper. Really, really cool. Inferno, I believe, is on Inferno. Inferno on Inferno. We've got GoDex on Inferno as well. Hydra there, Draco is going to be on Hydra. We heard about that today. This is all new. So Draco on Hydra, Phoenix on I think it's Hyper. I've got the wrong one here. I think it's on Hyper. I think on Hyper and so on. So yeah, new projects. Awesome V coming out on Vault. And I don't know when I was doing this. I must have been half asleep. but we got Awesome V coming on Vault. That name may change. So these are all brand new. If you haven't heard about them, they're brand new coming out today. And of course, benefiting from the Awesome X launch today. We've got Flare coming out, potentially Morpheus, of course, coming out there. So Matrix is going to be for Mike Dean. Morpheus is going to be Rag to Riches. And then we've got this Drellius here on Helios. And this is from the dude. So this is another project from the dude. And of course, we've got XLRS as well from the Blaze team. That is huge. So we're going to have a lot of time. There's so many more projects coming on this list. This list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Obviously, Shogun there. What else there? Let's jump through. Felix, of course, has been delayed. They've said they're taking a bit of time out to work things out. But that's coming up as well. Lotus is coming, of course. We've talked about that. And then we've got these other games as well coming from Blaze. X-Wars, WarpX, and Alien X. They're not even on my list here. They're kind of not sure whether they're full on games or not. But they're all coming as well. And they'll no doubt benefit Inferno. As my guess, a lot of those projects. So things are ramping up. This system is about to explode on Ethereum, and of course about to go jump chain to multiple chains, omni-chain, and TitanX is about to disappear, and the value is going to go through the moon. This thing is exciting. You guys got to get excited, man. This is absolutely ballistic. Very, very excited about that. So exciting times ahead, and of course as we move forward in time, we are getting closer and closer. 19 days left or less to get to 369. I'm excited about that. Hope you are too. Now, today we also saw some major moves here at the staking. We saw some major staking today. It was absolutely massive. And we saw mega stakes today. Now, the DragonX, of course, benefiting from Hydra and all the other projects of funding its vault. So the vault is where it gets TitanX and it then stakes it on TitanX and becomes a bigger whale. It's sitting at about 42% of the total shares, somewhere in that ballpark. At its own, and at the moment, it may have got a little bit diluted today, actually, the Super Whale DragonX, but it made a stake just before, only 4 hours ago, made 170 billion. And of course, that benefited from all the protocols that are sending at DragonX, sending at TitanX are benefiting from Flux, from Vault, from Hydra, and of course from AwesomeX now. So it's really getting a lot of love, and there's more projects to come. And the other thing we saw, of course, is we saw major staking from other wallets. Here you can see this one, hundreds of millions here staked. We got 924 billion from this wallet staked. That's almost a trillion. DragonX, massive. TitanX, almost a billion there. A trillion, I should say. Massive amount of supply. Remember, we've only got 49 trillion. That's almost 1 trillion there. This is half a trillion that's got staked as well. We also got this one here a day ago. That was 1 trillion. That got staked. 1.4 trillion got staked. So a huge amount of staking happened in the last 24 hours plus. Amazing stuff happening there. Really, really cool. So some interesting highlights there. DragonX at the moment. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at DragonX and see how big the whale is. $2.5 million at the moment. 1,023 ETH is expected there for the 369 payout. Pretty awesome. That's actually dropped a little bit because of those big individual stakes there from other players in the TitanX staking game. But that is still a ton of money. Remember, 44.5% is going to go and burn DragonX. And of course, the other 44.5% is going to go and buy TitanX up. Whatever TitanX is left, we don't know. There's not very much left. And it's going to go burn that baby. And that's going to be huge. That's burned pretty much permanently because it's going to restake the air. Now, we also know that Titan Farms has been doing very well. So I want to wrap up with Titan Farms, I think. But I think a lot of these tokens are really going to moon. This is kind of your last time to get in on these. Really, really important. If you want to find out more about strategies, get into our strategy club. Links in the video description. Only $35 a month there. Really great value. All right, so let's have a quick look at what could be next. Obviously, when you think about Titan Farms, you're thinking about the volume that's going through them, right? So let's bring up, let's actually bring up that one more time. I want to bring up Titan Farms. It is the first of the big 3 DeFis. We've got TitanX, Element280 launching. So that's going to be the second big DeFi one. Let's go to the website for Titan Farms and have a quick check out at this before we wrap things up. $24.5 million in volume. Liquidity is being managed by the Titan Farms. This is on V3, but it acts like V2 because it's a full spread of the LP. So you go in 50-50 just like you do for V2 pools on Uniswap, but it's actually V3 and it's just a full spread of that. And so impermanent loss is very mitigated there. You don't have extremely high X's, 50X to get someone, that get impacted by that, particularly generally speaking. 78% of all the supported peers liquidity is controlled by the Titan Farms. That's pretty impressive. We've just seen a little bit of sell-off in the TiNK price over the last 24 hours, and particularly last hour or two. It is at $5.19 at the moment. That is to be expected, particularly in the first 10 to 14 days. So no surprises there. Total TiNK at the moment burned is $2,100, 11,000. So just warming up there is the old burn. And of course, remember, this is a scaling thing. So don't get tricked out by that because this will scale up. I have the value at the moment of TiNK price. I have that a little calculation. I posted that in Strategy Club today, so you can check that out as well. And of course, Dragon Hydra there is sitting at 1,000% with the pullback in the TiNK prices. That is bringing the ROIs down quite dramatically. That was sitting at about 1,600% earlier today. So the TiNK price, pretty big player there. But TiNK TitanX farm still at 1,500%. So you could still see big whales buy TiNK price to go into that farm to earn those juicy APR rewards there. DragonX TitanX at 342% at the moment. Volt TitanX at 500%. Wrapped ETH there at 750%, and Hyper TitanX at 911% there at the moment. So obviously with that TiNK price fall today, that's definitely impacted it, but there was no surprise with that fall. I think that was kind of reasonable, and we may see some whales come in to buy that up. So at the moment, we've got 61% of Volt is managed by the Titan farms. We've got 66% of the Wrapped ETH TitanX is managed by the Titan farms. 82% of the Hyper TitanX is managed by Titan farms. 100% of course is virtually of TiNK is managed by the Titan farms. 89, almost 90% of DragonX TitanX, and 98% of DragonX Hydra there is managed by the Titan farm. So that is kind of where we are at the moment overall. There is 257,000 TiNK tokens. We're just starting day 4. We're just starting day 4 now. So day 3 days, that's how much we've had, 257,000 more or less in 3 days. Not too bad with 2,100 burned there. So only a small percentage of that has been burned so far. What's at about 1%, just under 1% at the moment. But the burn page, let's go to that. This is where all the action is. So you got to think about where the fees are going there. The bigger the volume that goes through the pool, so it's 25 million at the moment. If we get that to 50 million, especially with the hyper-deflationary aspects, remember all these tokens are hyper-deflationary sitting underneath that. This thing's about to go to the moon, as I just laid out in the previous half an hour or so. Watch these volumes on this farm. It's pretty amazing. So we've got DragonX, Hydra, and Hyper. They've pretty much all been burned. We've had about $25,000 of DragonX being burned. Remember, there are 2 farms for DragonX, so 1, 2, feeding that DragonX. That's why it's so big. 25,000 at the moment. It's just getting warmed up. Day 4 is just beginning. 2.3 billion DragonX has been burned. Hydra there at the moment is sitting at $500 million. Hydra, $7,000 being burned so far, and burn Hyper, 1.1 billion Hyper so far, $4,000 there as well. Kind of cool, just on those 1 farms. Now, we've seen the TiNK burn go operate at the moment. We've got another $1,100 in there ready to go and burn, so that has to be activated. And of course, we see we've already done 2,100 has been burned on that. We also have the buy and burn TiNK with TitanX, so that has to be activated as well by core function, and that is currently at 15 million at the moment on the incentive fee. So 250 million TitanX has been called, so that's gone up again. So that has been incentivized. There are 50,000 bucks in there to go and burn TitanX. So this is getting bigger all the time and getting ramped up as well. And then finally, we got burn and buy and burn TiNK with Wrapped ETH. That's at 4 ETH in there at the moment, almost $10,000 as well. That is currently paused. That hasn't been activated yet. So that is going to be called at some stage. Now, the thing is that as the volume gets bigger, as the fees get bigger and accumulate, there's all that buy power, and that would lift the implied price of the TiNK price as time goes on. So if you're thinking about that, we know how many TiNK tokens are going to be out in the first year. That is a fixed emission. If we scale the volume and the fees, then of course it will burn more and more of that TiNK and lift the implied intrinsic value of TiNK up. And it's still early days. So we're only into just day 4. The first 10 days are going to be very important because obviously every day that you go there, you're still adding quite a bit of percentage to the total TiNK supply. But by the time you get to day 10, day 11 is only 10%, right? Day 1, from day 2 to day 1 is like doubling. But by the time you get to day 10, it's only 10% extra there. By the time you get to day 100, there's only 1% for, the day 101 is only 1% more than what you had, excluding the burning feature. And of course, the more fees you get, the more burn that's going to happen. And not only is it burning TiNK, giving an implied price to TiNK, but it's also burning DragonX, Hydra, and Hyper, in addition to all the other buy and burns and hyper deflation that's going on in the system. this thing is a juggernaut, and it's about to really go psychotically good. Psychotically good. So excited about where it's going to go. Very fun to see this play out as well. So yeah, very, very cool. We're going to see some interesting things happen with this. Cult DeFi in house there. I've been following these streams the last few days. It all looks great since Cult DeFi. Absolutely, it does. Very excited where it's heading. All right, so I hope you guys have enjoyed today's coverage. We're going to wrap up with what could be the next farms, right? So we're talking about these LPs. They're getting bigger. What could be the next farm? Well, I think we have pretty much the idea of what that's going to be. What is the next token to hit 1 million volume and join Titan farms? Now, they do have a bit of an entry here. And, of course, Inferno does look like the one to beat. But, of course, we've had Awesome X launch today, and that benefits DragonX. Now, Eric is also the founder of DragonX, but he is conscious of the volume that needs to go in there. And at the moment, it does look like Inferno it will be the one to be picked. We heard Jake Sharp sort of tease that, imply that, indicate that today on live stream. So it does look like Inferno could be a nice move there, which would mean that picking up Inferno could be a pretty good play before that happens. The other thing, of course, we can see the volumes here at the moment. Inferno in volume is on the low side at the moment, so we probably do need a bit of a pickup there. We can see Awesome X is at actually 322K as well. Now, both of those are not in the $1 million camp yet, but they could get there very soon. So keep a tab out for those. Those two are obviously top contenders there, and the market expects, obviously, those are the two top contenders in the poll. 336 votes there. So we'll see. But Inferno does look like the favored son. Could be out much sooner than this volume gets picked up, but we shall see where that heads. It's only 143K at the moment. Now, the final thing I want to warn you about is the fact that there are scams being set up. If you have a watch list and things like that on Dex Screener, sometimes it seems like people can hack the site and add in fake trading pairs for your watch list. Be very careful about that. If you don't see any volume, if you see weird charts with no trades, things like that, those are the ones that are rigged to you, very rigging. So be very careful with your contract interactions in the TitanX system. It's just like anything, like Hex and Pulsechain, like anything that does really well, then a lot of scammers come out to try and steal the money off people because they don't have anything else to do but do bad things. So yeah, just remember that. Take care out there as always. Tons of projects coming. Absolutely ballistic, isn't it? The amount of projects coming. I'm very excited about that. And of course, the next one will be the second DeFi of the big three, Element280 from the dude, the founder of Helios and Janus there. And this is clearly his biggest project, but it's also going to feed a ton of crypto into Helios, right? So that's going to be really huge as well. We already see, I think it was Volts that's feeding there, or Flux feeding Helios as well. So it's getting a lot of love too. And we're looking forward to where that will go. All right, 112 minutes on the hour. We think we're doing pretty well, right? I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. It's been pretty fulsome. If you want to find out more, get into our strategy club. It's only $35 a month. Really good value. Multi-chain opportunities. It is a private group inside the Discord. The Discord itself for Pulsechain Hex is $5 a month. It is a private Discord, but the strategy club is premium service, and that is $35 a month. That's multi-chain, and we are covering this in depth. We had a really great strategy discussion yesterday with a good bunch of people contributing, talking about the best strategies to optimize positions. I think it's been a lot of fun in there too. A big shout out to everybody that contributed yesterday in the strategy club, and the new members, of course, that have come in recently. A big shout out there. All right, Hex Vader says, cheers, super. Good time to wrap up, eh? Take care, and I'll catch you guys. I will be in Discord today. Until then, take care and enjoy yourself. We are really, really, really close to something absolutely special, not only in crypto, but particularly on TitanX here. It is pretty amazing. And yeah, things are really rallying on Pulsechain too. It's pretty good all around. Green candles. Let's go. All right, peace out. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Catch you again tomorrow. Bye for now. Oh, actually, maybe not tomorrow. We'll see how we go. Now I'll be here tomorrow to cover the Element280. All right, bye for now.